One last topic, just a very short video here. I want you to think about what does it mean to divide by I? And of course, if we try and figure out what is 1 over I, is there a nicer way to write that? Of course, yes. You would multiply by the complex conjugate, which would be I over I. And this would be I over -1 or minus I. So it turns out, just a little quirk, that 1 over I is equal to minus I. This does not say anything deep. This is like saying that 1 over -1 is equal to -1. You know, it's a very similar thing. But this is a useful thing for us to keep in mind, that 1 over I is equal to minus I. One last thing, just while we're talking about I, if I were to think about powers of I, there's a nice pattern here if you haven't seen it. So let's just go up to I to the 8. So I to the 0, anything to the 0 is still 1. I to the 1 is I squared is -1. I cubed is minus I. And then I to the 4th would be I squared squared. So it would be -1 squared. So that would be +1. And therefore I to the 5th would be I to the 4th times I. So that would be I. And then -1 minus I. So you get kind of this sequence with period 4. Like every fourth term is going to be the same. So I to the 0 and I to the 4th and I to the 8th, all those are 1. If you have a multiple of 4 plus 1, then I to that power will be I, and so on. Okay, so that's the powers of I.